I was a recent graduate from the University of Michigan, just woke up one day and had trouble catching my breath. I grabbed my insurance card and I went to my local hospital, and my kind of story started there. They were monitoring my heart. They were trying to do different things to resolve what I eventually found out was that my heart was overly enlarged. I became very sick very quickly, to the point where a lot of the decisions being made were not my decisions, they were my parents' decision because I was so sick. But at some point they realized that there was really no resolution except for a potential heart transplant. My story was so prominent locally that I had cards and letters coming from all over the state. And what my parents did was they took all these cards and they wallpapered the room. So when people came in, they didn't just see like a person there. They saw someone who had family members that loved them, somebody who was loved by other people, and we wanted the doctors and people to say, we need this person to live. I do remember waking up from the transplant and someone said to me, Erik, and they started asking me if I know what was going on and that I had a heart transplant, and I didn't even know what it meant at first. Then eventually I got better and I went back to the normal life of a 25, 26, 27-year-old. I started dating and met my wife after that, very soon after that, and ultimately had 2 children. I got a call from the University of Michigan Cardiovascular Center. They said, we're opening our new cardiovascular center, and we'd like you to speak at the grand opening. It was 2007, I had an annual stress test. So what's going on? He goes, your echo seemed abnormal, and they immediately admit me, and they're talking about what's going on, and they're talking about what they might do to see how they can fix it, but they're concerned that the heart is damaged. And so he says, we may have to have another transplant. I'm kind of freaking out. I'm figuring I may never leave this hospital. I had this so fortunate occurrence where I had a transplant and I survived, and can I make it again? I had things I had to do. I had a family to support. My kids were writing me letters and pictures every day because my wife was there every day. And I would take those things and I'd plaster them on the walls. So it was an emotional time, but I had to be strong for them and had to be optimistic. It's late at night. They come in my room and they said, we think we have a heart for you. And then they prepped me, and I went down for surgery. And, I woke up the next morning and I sit up in my bed, after just having open heart surgery. And then my wife showed up. She said, you want to try a flight of stairs? I'm like, sure, let's try a flight of stairs. And then someone from physical therapy walks in and says, oh, it's your time for physical therapy. My wife says, he just did 3 flights of stairs. She goes, all right, you're good. She just left. So I remember a couple of the people from the hospital coming in saying, you're still going to speak, right? And so when I left the hospital, I literally had to speak, a week later. But I had to rewrite the speech because the story was a different story. It was about the 2 heart transplants I had. So the ability to come home and restart, the journey as a family was a big piece of it. Many times until you deal with something like this, you don't really appreciate time. You don't appreciate every day, every year, every birthday. Something like this gives you new perspective. And without the American Heart Association, and without the gift of life for me, and without the University of Michigan Cardiovascular Center, I would not have that gift of time to say thank you, time to help promote and perpetuate everything that everyone does to make life better and to give more time.